to log it, and then like it's going to send it to the LLM, and then based on that, it's going to provide you a suggestion or like a explanation about the problem, because like sometimes it's too technical, and then like if you're not very familiar with about Kubernetes, then it makes things very like cumbersome, like to understand the issue. And so yeah, so you basically install some custom CRDs, and then like even it has feature to have its own analyzers. I'll go through in a second. So there are two models. One is standalone, like you can install it in your local machine and then scan again your target cluster. And then second part is like where you have an opportunity to run this as an operator in your cluster. Like if your security team and everyone is okay, then you just run it an operator model, and then like even like there are like multiple parameters. I'll show you in a second. So like, how do we do it in K8sGPT as a CLI? So like, if you're using a Mac, just using Brew, you can install this tabs K8sGPT repository, and then like there are like other guides here in this link. Maybe like I think we will be sharing the slides. So once you have it, you will be able to use this link to install it in Linux or Windows-based operating systems. So the next model what we have is in cluster operation operator cluster installation. So like basically you have they have an Helm chart, so you basically install those Helm charts in your cluster, and then this is a K8sGPT operator architecture. So what it's going to do is like it's going to install that operator and then install the custom CRDs, and then like if you have a Prometheus, Prometheus can escape those metrics. So it emits some metrics, and then it emits some results. So basically, like if you are able to access those results, you can access the results from the cluster, and then like for observability purpose, you can, if you have like a Prometheus or Grafana stack, so you can be able to monitor these aim from Prometheus or Grafana. So like in a Grafana, like you can see um, like in a large window, for example, or in a day, like how much such failures you are having, and then like how frequent, like what better you can do to like fix it, basically, right? So um, right now, like it's basically like it's just analyze your cluster and then like try to provide the insights of your cluster, like what's the current problem you have in your cluster. But like in future, you can make it smart enough further, basically like to do auto remediation. So for example, if something is broken, and then like if you can give its own like further privilege, then it can go and fix it for you. You don't have to wake up in the midnight and then like try to debug the issue in the midnight or so, right? So like if you can do further automation, like it's an open source project, so you can do your own customization and then um, change it however you want. So K8sGPT, they have it's like they support like multiple backends, which is they call as the providers. So you can use OpenAI, Cohere, Amazon Bedrock, or even you can run local AI or Olama in your local, and then like try to bind that to your K8sGPT either on the CLI or on the um, operator. So like even in the operator model, like you can dictate which LLM model to be used and then which provider to use. So you have the capability to like um, choose what model you want to use. So it's not like fixed, like you should be using OpenAI or anything like that. You have the freedom, basically like to choose what you want. So it's up to you, like whichever you're comfortable, or like whichever model you have, or like if you are running like the local models from your within your organization, where it's totally restricted, it's fine. So you have an endpoint, so it connect to those endpoints, and then it's able to send that data to that LLM model, and then it uses the LLM model to provide you with a solution, like what exactly you need to do to figure out and then like fix that particular issue. So it comes with a integration as well. So like you have if you, for example, like you have like within the cluster, with the cluster, if you have like multiple other tools, you can integrate that with other external tools as well. For example, you are running Trivi, which has a image scanner, so it checks for all the container images and then provides you like if the container image is vulnerable or not. And then, so what it does is K8sGPT, um, you can enable it as an integration. So like even it's instead of just checking those issues, it can even check your CVEs, like if any of your images is vulnerable, and then like it provides a report for that as well, and then like you can go and fix it. Same thing with Kubernetes. So Kubernetes is basically a policy engine. Like if you want to like have control security policies applied on the Kubernetes clusters, you can enable the integration with Kubernetes. So it's going to, so let's say you have a policy report. For example, like all the pods need to have a certain labels for cost or whatever. So it's going to monitor and then say, okay, these particular resources doesn't have any such labels, or it is not meeting your certain organization policies and so on. So like uh, you can do it through Kubernetes, K get policy report or K get cluster report, but even with uh, case GPT results, those results are populated, so you can just view everything in one shot. Like you don't have to go in multiple places and then check those, gather those results. So um, yeah, and then like filters. So basically, like it comes with multiple other filters, so it can check. Like you can basically restrict your KHGPT to like looking for specific resources. So these are like some of the resource types which they default or they provide, but it's you can restrict it. So for example, like you want to just focus on parts and deployments of service, so you can make sure that it just checks only that, because like cluster has like multiple other resources, and then like you don't want to exhaust your LLM models usage. So like you can restrict uh, whatever Kubernetes resource type kind you want to focus on, so that it checks only those specific resources. For example, you want to check node failures or whatever, so you just restrict it to node filter, so that like it monitors only node failures, and then like it alerts you or like it notifies you. So um, basically like it focus on those objects, and then it basically gets those events and then pass it to LLM, and then LLM is going to provide you information. Okay, this is my issue, and this is the issue I received, and then like this could be the solution. So you can take a look on those solutions and then see like how well the suggestion works for you, and then like proceed with precaution, right? So for sure, like don't apply this directly on your production environment. So try to play around with your test environment, and then once you're comfortable, then I would recommend like you can go higher with your environment deployments, right? So your staging environment, dev environment, and then like prod environment. So you know what you're doing, and then like you don't blindly do something like which you're not very familiar on what you're doing. So um, if anybody have any other questions, if not, like we can go ahead with the demo.
Please feel free to drop your questions in the chat. I will keep my eye there. Yes, Nuruddin. I'm sorry if I'm not saying your name right, but please feel free to unmute yourself.
Yeah, thank you. Hi, hello. Thanks for the presentation. So my question is for this GPT, for example, does this support monitoring machine learning jobs, for example?
So it's basically like you're going to monitor all your Kubernetes objects and then events, whatever is going to happen within your cluster, and then it is going to like basically basically they're trying to get the status messages from all those objects. Uh, maybe I will show in the demo. It will give you more clarity.
Yeah. What I'm saying is that if I create a custom resource, for example,
Yeah.
can I configure K8sGPT to do that, to monitor and
Yeah. So that's what I was about to show in that example as well.
Okay.
So like you can start it here. Yeah. So you can, if you can see the screen, so you can have your own analyzer, and then like you can have your own logic, and then you can just mention, okay, this is my custom resources, and then like if I got any information from this custom resources, and then like you can add your own condition logic, and then say, okay, if I see this message, and then like what you should do next.
All right, thank you.
Yeah. So it's not fixed, like it can just monitor only these filters. Like it is robust. Like you can like bring in your own logic, and then like even you can hook up to Slack or whatever. So like even if it finds any issues, you don't have to come to your cluster and then check for the results. You can directly it can send you a Slack notification. Then like immediately you will be notified in your channel or like channel, and then like you can take the necessary steps like how you can recover it. Right, like right now, like if it is not providing auto remediation, but you can add those capabilities. Maybe I will go through the demo, and then like I will proceed with the question. Feel free to ask any question after the demo. So just a second. Can you see my screen?
Yeah, can you zoom in? Yeah.
Can we zoom this a little bit more?
Yeah.
Thank you.
Is it better now?
Yes, on my end.
Yeah. So I just have a sample kind cluster here. I have deployed okay, maybe I'll just go to the CLI first. So I have the CLI here, K8sGPT, and that's just a blue installation. And so like, first of all, like how do we add the auth? So I have like multiple auths enabled, but like, for example, like if you want to add any auth, so just to add auth, and then like you can configure the backend, whatever the backend you want to configure. So in this case, you can use OpenAI and Olama, local AI, whatever you're running, and then like you can use any of the managed services as well, right here. So you can just say -b and you can say OpenAI. So it's already configured. Maybe I can just delete it and then like show it to you again. So just add the OpenAI. So it's OpenAI. So it's just I'm sorry for the typo. So it's just remove and then the backend provider. So the provider here is OpenAI. So then like you just do same thing, add -b OpenAI. And then it's going to ask you your OpenAI key. So like if you have your key, you can generate it, and then like you can just paste it. So I'm just pasting some key here. It's just added it, and it's going to use this default GPT-3 5 Turbo model. So then what I do is I just do analyze. Okay, maybe I'll just show whatever possible, right? So first I showed you the art list. I'm using multiple screens. Yeah, so next part is I'll show you the integrations that is available. So we have integrations with Kubernetes, Privy, and then Prometheus. So it's going to use those data as well to do and then it's going to provide those reports for those objects as well. And next part is filters. So like it's GPT analyze filters list. Yeah, I'm having some issue with my CLI. So for example, I can do like a filter part. It's going to check my part. So like I have some couple of issues here. So I'll show you what's the issue here. So I have I'm just trying to check for the parts which is not in a running state. So there are like two issues you can see here. One is like an image pull back off and then a pending, right? So what does image pull back off if a person doesn't know what it is? So just trying to analyze it, right? So it's going to say, okay, this is the issue. So this particular part is having a backup image. So what is it? So I'm just going to use dash explain. So it's going to provide an insight like what it is about, right? So here it's providing me further information. Previously it was just saying, okay, static like status message, whatever Kubernetes is returning. But here it's saying, okay, it says it looks like your image manifest is invalid, and then like check whether your registry is responding or like so on, right? Make sure like you're using check whether your registry is up and running, and then whether your image exists, and if there is a delay in pulling those images, and then just watch those and then see like if it is able to pull those images and so on. So that is one thing. And the second part I have is something on the deployments. So I have like you can see here current. So there are like one is the invalid image, and then like another part I have a invalid service account. So what we have done is like I try to use an invalid service account. So that's what it is complaining here. So it says like okay, you are trying to use a deployment which is not having any service account. So try to check for those service accounts if the service ensure the service account has the necessary privileges and so on. So if you want to like you can do furthermore. So okay, I'm not sure about this explanation. So if you have any Kubernetes documentation or whatever, so it's saying okay, Kubernetes doc says this particular service account has 3 replicas, but it doesn't have any minimum replicas as well. So it provides some documentation here, what you need to do furthermore. And even you can like if you want to see the output as a JSON, so the same information is going to store it in JSON, and you can like play around with it. So the last part I would like to show is there is this resource which has quota issue, for example, right? So it's going to show here you are trying to have a deployment, but it's not meeting your resources. So check your resources or increase your quota, right? So for example, I'll show that manifest here. So here I'm trying to request for the CPU to CPU, and then if I effect for my quota, it says describe here. It says like you can just use the maximum of 1 CPU, right? So that's the reason like it's not allowing you to do like for the part to come up. So for you to like go and debug one by one, for example, I'll show you another example, right? So where this is out of resources, and what traditionally people will do is we just describe this deployment, and go to this particular resource replica set, because deployment creates a replica set. So you go and describe this replica set, and I think it's not showing the latest information. So like, but the events, if you should see, um, there should be. Yeah, I just created it while ago, so it doesn't. So for the one, if you're seeing, so I try to use CNCF Kubestronaut as a service account name, and then that service account name doesn't exist. So that's the reason, like this replica set, I'm not able to create those spots. And then, so this is the same information being sent to the LLM, and then LLM is trying to provide you with more information, like what else, what further you can do with this kind of issues. And then I hooked up the Kubernetes as well. So I created a Kubernetes policy, basically to check for all the resources to see if there are any like violations against those policies. So these are the it applies to all the resources, and then says, okay, it violating the policy because like I'm expecting a label which is required, and then like it doesn't have those labels in any of these resources. So those are things you can do with your local K8sGPT CLI. So you can filter it further as well, right? So I can just filter it for the same Kubernetes policies. So here, what it's going to do is it's going to call the it's sending that data to the LLM, and then like trying to print this data. So it's the same thing, like whatever we're seeing in those events, it's providing those through the K8sGPT. And then like same thing, like there are like other flags, you can do dash with dogs. If there is any Kubernetes documentation or anything, it's going to provide you with those documentation. And if you want it to explain, and that's it, that's when it's going to use that LLM. So here it's just, this is the portion where it's sending the data to LLM, and then LLM is trying to provide you with some solutions. So these till now, like whatever you're getting, you can even get it through Kubernetes events. The one which is going to provide you right now, that's generated through the LLM. So it's providing like more insights about that error, like what else you can do, like what furthermore you can do with these errors, and like how we can remedy these problems. So as SRE, as a DevOps engineer, like it will be very easy for you to like go and troubleshoot your deployment issues or pod issues or any node failures or whatever happening within your cluster. So let's go to the next deployment model where I would deploy the Kubernetes K8sGPT operator. So operator is running here. So it has the control manager and then the interplex. So interplex takes care of all the caching and everything of those data. So it doesn't hit LLM often. So it caches that data and then like uses the data for you to provide the insights if you are trying to fetch that same information again and again. So let's do the same thing, right? So whatever we are doing here, I'm trying to get it here. So the custom CRD object is result. So it's there in this case here, operator system namespace. So whatever the issues we have, it identified so far it's listed here. So let's take one, and then I'm using the K8sGPT or like my local AI as a backend. So I do K8sGPT. So I have configured to use this LLM. So here, if you see this, right? So I'm anonymizing the data, like if we have any sensitive data, it's not sent to the LLM. And then like I have some max retries if my LLM is down or whatever, and then like it tries to do like multiple tries to me, and then retries, right? So the backend I'm using is local AI. So like if you see here, I'm running my LLM here, Olama. So it's going to connect to that LLM uh, API endpoint and then like trying to fetch all this information. So I'm just using the model as Llama 3. So you are free to like you can change it to whatever model you want. Here you can dictate the same thing whatever we are doing with K8sGPT or that same thing. You can do it here. Like you can change your model, you can change your token and then language whatever you want. You can customize here. All right. So once you have this in place, so what it's going to do is operator is trying to make use of this LLM, and then it's going to send those requests to this LLM, and then like fetching those answers from the data model, etc., whatever it has. So I'll show you one result. So let's go and dive into one of the issues, right? For example, the TV talk. So we'll just do the JSON. So it's just showing the book service account. But let's check something else which you guys might be interested in. Let's say check for this cube check. So we do check Q. So same just checking for the Kubernetes given no policy that may saying the same thing as always. Given no policy expects a label, and then this label is not present in this particular resource object. So like yeah, this is all good. So like how I keep a trend, like what's happening within my cluster and so on. So like we can, as I mentioned, like if we have integration with Prometheus. So I have deployed a Prometheus here, the same namespace, in the demo namespace. So Prometheus is running, and then Grafana is running as well. So let me check. Let me show you the Prometheus, like the Grafana dashboard. So this is my this is a Grafana dashboard for K8sGPT. So it shows you like a type. You can filter it and then see like what exactly is happening in the course of duration, right? So I can just say, okay, last 5 minutes, what is the trend? So there's nothing changed, but we can change it to like 1 hour. So then you can see it spike here, right? So something was good, and then like immediately like this particular duration, something happened, and then like you are seeing like more number of failures, and then like it will help you analyze, okay, we'll do some correlation, like what happened in this. So this is a sum actually, sorry, but you will be able to see the results over the time. So from here, you will be able to see like if there is any spike, and then you can declare, okay, something was there, and then like something increasing, and then like you can correlate if it's like a multiple failures, like if it's like a dependency services failing, and then like other services are failing due to that and so on. So like it will be easy for you to like correlate and then troubleshoot the issue, like remediate the issue like as soon as possible. Like you don't have to go through like multiple steps, right? So traditionally people has to like go to this particular deployment and then like go to the respective service and then like go to the pod. So you will you need to spend a lot of time to like go and check these resources one by one manually, and then like come up with like trying to find the root cause and so on, right? So this makes it easier for you. Like one shot, you can just either run the CLI as either run K8sGPT as a CLI, so like you don't have to install anything on a cluster. It's just a CLI running on your cluster. It just calls the API server and then fetches those information and then send to your local either your local AI or OpenAI or any third-party service you use, you will be using. So, and then like second part is that operator model, like where you can install the operator in your cluster and then like constantly monitor those resources, and then like it provides you the result. So yeah, I think that's it. And, let me see if I'm able to show any other issue time. Yeah, so this. So I can do one more thing. So let's see. I'll try to apply another maybe I'll delete this Olama and then try to like use DeepSeek R1 is the latest relevant model, right? So many people are like maybe interested on to see like how it works with the latest models. So I'll just quickly show you. System is bit slow. Yeah, sorry about that. Yeah, in the meantime, like, do anybody have any other questions to ask? Or like, if you want to see any other demo, I can mimic it if possible.
Yeah, I have a question.
Yeah.
The question I have two questions actually, because from what I see that it could actually, analyze a lot of things about the cluster. But say, for example, when it comes to the core Kubernetes components, can it do the analysis? For example, let's say, for example, you have a case whereby your etcd is just getting full, right? And you want to understand why it's getting full, right? Can you understand, or let's say, for example, your etcd, the quorum, there is no leader at that moment, Can
Yeah.
you get the view? Or maybe, for example, a pod is pending because he's not able to get IP, right?
Yeah.
So you analyze some of this issue. That's the first question. Then the second question is that I see that we are using, AI models, and definitely some of these AI models are not free, right? So,
Yeah.
what is your opinion when it comes to costs with using this? Because organizations definitely, when they employ you, they expect that you should be able to provide a technical expertise when you have problems. Now imagine a case whereby you have to pay for some of these models that you are using. So what can you say when it comes to the cost efficiency as well?
Yeah, cost is a big factor, right? So like here I'm just running a local AI model and then like trying to leverage those resources. So like I'm not paying anything extra, but like companies may not be like very comfortable in running those models, right? Because like we don't know like what's running underneath. So I would suggest like um, pick a model and then like do some analysis with like a tested environment or whatnot, and then like show the power to your management. Like say, okay, I'm using this Llama 3 model, and then like a Kubernetes cluster which has this LLM model running, and then running in a pod or something, and then like make this Kubernetes app and make the K8sGPT operator connects to those local AI models so that like your data doesn't go anywhere outside, right? So everything is within your organization. It's just going to analyze your data set, whatever you're going to provide. That's the one it's going to analyze, and then it's going to whatever information it has based on this is going to provide you a solution, right? But if your management is willing to like, okay, go further and then use any managed service, let's say like Azure OpenAI or whatever, or even OpenAI. So you will have to pay for those services, and then it's all based on tokens, right? So it's on like how much data you are sending, and then how much data you're trying to query, like how much data you're sending, and then how much information is being sent is based on the token, right? So like you cannot like send large amount of data to like a third party paid service. So I would recommend to run a model if possible in your local, so that you have your full control on like what you are doing and so on, right? As I mentioned here in this, even in this K8sGPT CRD, like you have an option to anonymize the data. Like if there is any sensitive data, it's going to like it's not going to send anything to the third party. So even if you're having like a concern, like it's going to send any like sensitive information, like a Kubernetes secrets or anything like that. So it's not going to send that. So it's anonymized, and then like even the code is open source. You can download the source and then you can monitor, or like you can review the code if it's really doing analysis or not. You if you want to do some more customization, like you can build your like a you can download the K8sGPT. You can clone your repo and then you can build your own version of the image, and then like you can run your own operator so that you have your own custom analyzer and everything in place. So even it can go and check for the HCD and everything. So the filters, right? So I just mentioned filters. I think in the slide I have it, right? So even you can check the, for example, for your case of HCD and so on. So like it can monitor those logs and everything, right? And then or if it's passed as a Kubernetes events, in the events, if you are able to see those messages, or even in the status, right? For the pod example, not for the HCD, but for the pod, if IPs are not available, so on, right? So it's going to be in a pending state, and then like if Kubernetes can catch those issues, so basically like somebody has to provide that information to LLM model, right? So LLM is not that smart, so you need to say what you want to check against, and then it's going to check against that. Does it answer your question?
Yes, it does. Yeah, thank you.
Yeah.
So another thing is that, is it possible for you to pass custom prompts to it on the CLI?
Meaning the custom objects?
Custom prompt, because basically, when you run analyze, it's basically calling a prompt behind the scene and using that to analyze your pod, for example, right? Now, is it possible for you to pass custom prompts to this?
Custom front in the main
prompt, like prompt, PROMPT.
Oh, sorry, I'm not getting you.
Like, I mean, is it possible for you to pass custom prompts? Yeah, thank you.
Probe. Yeah. Okay. So custom probe in the sense like you want to monitor some metrics or something, and then like based on that.
No, for example, when you run the analyze, for example, from what I see, the analyze is just looking at the Kubernetes event, right? From there, it's getting back some things, right?
Yeah, it's not about only events. It's just even the status fields, messages, and so on, right? So, for example, so this particular status message is like, for example, if you take this message, right? So it's going to send the state as well, right? So state as a status. And based on that, LLM is going to provide you that information. Okay, if for this example, the image I provided is an invalid image, so that's why it's not able to pull that image.
Yes, I get that. What I'm saying is that, is it possible for you to pass custom prompts?
Yeah. So that's what I mentioned in the other files, right? The analyzer, you can just dictate like which field you want to change, and then like from where you want to analyze and so on. Like if Kubernetes in the analyzer portion, like you can like customize your own logic and then like look into further more resource, like more state whatever you want to fetch from.
All right. Okay. Thank you.
Yeah.
So yeah, I have one question as well. So yeah, thanks Sathish for presenting. So basically we are talking about
before that, Anish, sorry, one second. So this is one of the example, right? For the previous person, for example, like a disk usage is a 90%. By default, it's not going to check the node resources. So you can do your custom logic here. So in case like if your disk is full or something like that, and same thing for HCD, right? So yeah, go ahead. Sorry, Anish.
Yeah. So since we are talking about AI and models, and so based on your experience, what's the impact of AI particularly in the cloud native and Kubernetes ecosystem. It could be either positive or negative. So since we are talking about K8sGPT, can you, throw your thought a little bit on this topic?
So AI is good, right? So like everywhere, like whenever there is a new technology, like always there will be like any technology has like a pros and cons. Right? So here, many people what they feel is okay, AI is there, but so once it's there, like we will lose our jobs and so on. So it's not going to happen, right? So like somebody has to maintain those LLM models, somebody has to train those models and so on. I feel it's good in a way because like it's a drift, like it's a change right now. So like we are going to different like we are in a different generation, like where you are going to like not like handling it. Like it's a shift, right? Like people traditionally was working on physical machines and then like moved towards virtual machine and then like right now working on containerized environments or similar like that. AI is just there to back you, like make sure like, okay, whatever you are able to achieve, make use of that and then like try to get things done in a faster time. That's what I think.
Yeah, thanks. Yeah.
Any other question? I think we have time for one more question, if you folks have any. Bhavuk, please go ahead.
Okay, thank you. Hi, Sathish. So just to add to Ani's question, my question is a little bit similar to that. So do you recommend, anybody to just go ahead and start using K8sGPTs? Or you would suggest, like, if for a beginner, it would be better. So he would start troubleshooting himself and he would learn in that way better. So even when you are working with clusters, do you find this operator, solving complex complex errors and issues, or do you just find it most of the time solving common issues that you would, with your experience, be easily be able to solve it?
So the thing is like for learning, obviously, right? So we need to have a touch on the systems, right? Like if you're not familiar with the product, and then it's very difficult for you to like go on deeper. Suppose like if KGPT is not able to identify the issue, obviously like you will have to go and fix the issue, right? So you should have the basic understanding like how you, what you need to check and like how to troubleshoot the issue. But I would say like this is like if you're having like one namespace, one cluster, then it's fine, right? So you can manually go and dig into this issues and so on, and then like try to remediate the issue. But if you have a large system, let's say like 20 clusters, 100 clusters, 1,000 clusters, then it's not feasible, right? Like you have like 5 members or 10 members in a team, and then you have to manage 1,000 clusters. It's going to be hard as well, right? So it's by case basis. But I would say like you can start with your CLI. That way, like you don't have to install anything on the cluster. So it's just you're going to use your current RBAC, and then like whatever the permissions you have on this cluster, it's just going to fetch those information and then going to send it to the LLM. Right? So that way, like you don't tamper the cluster and nothing installed on the cluster. So you just work with your local environment. And once you're comfortable with it and then you think that it's giving more information or like more value, then I would suggest you would like further go ahead and then like deploy in those clusters and so on.
Okay, got you. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, Sathish, for your for such an amazing session. I truly believe that K8sGPT really is going to change the game for DevOps engineer and how they debug. So thank you so much for providing such an amazing demo for that. To everyone in the call, I have just dropped in a form, feedback form that will just help us on what kind of sessions we can do for this. So please just spend 2 minutes filling out that form. That I would really, really appreciate that. And thank you so much, everyone, for your time. Sathish, thank you so much for your time.
Yeah,
really.
Thanks everyone for listening in, and really appreciate it. Thanks for the opportunity.
Thank you so much.
We're looking forward.
Have a good rest of your day, everyone.
Have a great day, everyone. Thanks.
Yeah, thanks so much.